Welcome to Nkhani Zathu, the pod that tells indigenous stories every day, the platform that tells you what's good and what's odd for young people and elderly alike in the areas of art, history and culture preservation. And now your host, Rina Kasongo.
Hi, welcome to the Nkhani Zathu podcast. This is a platform where I bring to you some of your favorite storytellers. They share stories of their stories. And today, as always, I am happy, excited, and introducing our guest for today, who is an author for the book Lovers Right There. You are in for a treat. I am having a conversation today with Anthony Wambongo, who is an author, among many other things. He's almost about to release his book, Yearning for Dawn, which will be out very soon. I hope you are going to be able to read that book because I have read it. It's an amazing book, but Anthony will share more of that himself. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Rina.
It is amazing to have you here for a number of reasons we're going to share later on.
Thank you.
But for starters, how do you say how are you in your language?
I come from Kenya, East Africa, and we speak Swahili mainly. So, hi, greeting, we say hujambo if it's one person. And if there are many, we say hamjambo.
Jambo.
Hamjambo. That's when there are many. Yeah, that is the language that is popularly spoken in Kenya and Tanzania and partly Uganda.
But that is hi.
Yeah, hi.
Then how are you?
Oh, how are you? Oh, it's the same thing. Hi and how are you are just the same. It's the same salute.
Jambo.
Hujambo.
Jambo. Oh, wow.
Hujambo means you are referring to one person. And hamjambo, and there are many. Yes.
So, Jambo.
Sijambo, that's how I respond.
Jambo is up.
Sijambo is I'm fine.
Okay, so that was me asking you how are you.
Oh.
Jambo.
Hujambo.
Okay, great. It's good you're doing great. I just spoke Swahili. Like, great. I'm proud of myself.
It's a Bantu associated, it's a language associated with Bantu speaking. So it's very easy to manage if you are from the Bantu tribes.
Cool. Want to tell me, as we get into this conversation right now, can you think of 2 truths about yourself and 1 lie? And then I need to guess the lie.
Good.
Yes.
And 2 truths. 2 truths. One, I'm a teacher by profession and by passion.
So how this works is that you're going to tell me facts about, like you're going to tell me 3 facts, and then I'll need to guess the lie or the 3 things that you have just said.
Yes.
Yes.
One, I am a father of 2. I am 31 years old. I am Kenyan.
Okay, obviously Kenyan is correct. I don't think you're 31. Am I right?
Yes, you can guess my age.
I don't know, 40?
Let's say around 35. 40, you are near, close to the answer.
Oh,
I'm slightly older than that. I'm actually turning 47.
oh my goodness.
Just turned 47.
I would have never guessed.
Oh, yeah.
Good to know. So you have 2 daughters.
2 children, a daughter and a son. A daughter is turning 20 in December. The son is 1.5 years.
Okay. So yes, I'm talking to Anthony, father of 2, Kenyan. Definitely not 31.
Yeah, that would be a blatant lie. Yes.
Okay. Let's quickly talk about Yearning for Dawn, right?
Yeah.
The book that you're about to release very soon. For starters, why did you pick this title, Yearning for Dawn?
Yes, Yearning for Dawn, and I had to dilly-dally around Yearning for Dawn and many other titles, but finally I landed on this, Yearning for Dawn. It's just the optimism. It's to yearn, meaning you have a lot of power, you and capacity. You want to do something. Perhaps you are looking forward to something, This is a title that is that represents the optimism that we have as Africans, or perhaps the young people. I said yearning for dawn because you see, you're yearning for dawnbreak because you are still in darkness. There is a lot. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of hopes to unleash to the society, but it's not yet the right time. So you are.
Maybe as you're describing as the reason for the title, tell us exactly what this story is about in brief. Then I think that will help me understand a little bit more about the
Okay.
title.
Is as you see, as the cover depicts, there's a young gentleman by the name of Mubanga who is actually in darkness. The story is told in a flashback mode. He's actually in darkness in his cottage, and he doesn't have anything to make light. The lamp is dry. The tin lamp, which he normally uses, is dry, so he can't light it. He only has one matchstick in the box, and so he can't light it. He's not sure. He doesn't have a watch, so he's actually yearning for dawnbreak, but he's not sure what time it is. And as he's in that state, his memories start coming up about his life. He remembers how his life has been, the journey since he was a young boy, what he has gone through, the impediments that he has stumbled on as he was growing, how he made friends, and how these friends contributed to his growth or contributed to his misery at some point. So he's trying to share with us a lot about what has happened in his life as an individual and also in the community as he was growing up in school, and he just paints a picture of the way the society is at large. And from that, we really learn a lot of lessons about life, a lot of lessons about building life skills, building resilience, and motivation about life, and working hard towards the goals. You know, he has a lot to unleash, and that's why I derived the title yearning. You want to do something so badly that you have no excuse to give. Even darkness is not an excuse. That's why he can't even sleep. He's just staying awake throughout the night.
Just out of curiosity, are you Mubanga or it was just a third picture?
It's actually fictitious story. It's a fiction. I just build it out of my own imagination. But here and there, I would throw in my own life experiences, of course, which I disguise my experiences in Mubanga or maybe in another character as I have built them. Mubanga is actually the main character, who is the narrator of the story, and is a young person, perhaps around 20 or 23, 4 years there, and he's just finished university or he's undergoing university, so now in an internship. And through him, we learn a lot about his parents, the society, the leadership of the society, and so on.
And then you keep talking about Mubanga. Was you saying Mubanga? Mubanga is a Bemba word, right?
Oh, yes,
Bemba
yes.
name.
It's a Bemba name.
I've checked through the book briefly, and I've noticed a number of Zambian names. What was going through there? Because I understand you're not Zambian, but then you are having to include Zambian names. What is the behind the story of that?
One is because of my love for Zambia. I have this special attachment with Zambia so much. I've met some Zambians in Nairobi. We have worked together. They are lovely people, and I've always heard nice things about Zambia. I developed interest in Zambia, and I said, in my life, I want to reach Zambia and do something with Zambians. Yes, so that gave me now the impetus to try to craft a story and base it in one of the settings in Zambia. I based it in Copper Belt region, in a village which I called Kuyu. Kuyu, I think there's Kuyu is a name of a tree. It's a tree. So that village I gave it a name. Kuyu, it has big shade, many branches, and it provides shade. So so I centered it around the Bemba. That's why many names are actually derived from Bemba. I got a friend. I've also interacted with several friends of mine here who helped me understand much about Bemba in terms of culture, in terms of language, and so on, and also widely about Zambia, how Zambia is ruled, how it is organized politically, socio-economically, and so on, even in terms of religion. So that
I like that you did that.
yeah,
Yeah, because if you're going to have to bring something to Zambia, I think people have to relate to it. So if I'm going to be reading a book written by a Kenyan and I'm seeing it globally, I mean, seeing it around my country, I want to relate to it. And what better way to relate to a book than having to read familiar names? But yeah, other than that, there's this phrase which is common among people in Zambia, which I don't subscribe to, by the way, saying that Zambians don't read. There's a poor reading culture in our country. Is that also the same with Kenya? How is the reading culture?
oh yeah, I can say in general, Africans are a bit behind in reading culture. We are still lagging behind. People normally read because maybe it's because it's because of the curriculum. Whatever they are reading is perhaps recommended by the curriculum. Otherwise, just reading for the purposes of enriching your own skills and developing the language, we are still maybe, I can say we are not yet at the right level. Even in East Africa, we are still struggling with that, but we always encourage people. Reading culture has to be inculcated among the children when they are still young. And I usually, even as I go around schools, I usually help teachers and even parents in instilling the reading culture among the children. So we are struggling with that because perhaps when we were growing, there were no maybe stories to read. Sometimes we have maybe lack of funds to access those reading materials. And I usually tell people that you can go out of your way and even create stories from newspapers, old newspapers. You just tear a clipping and paste in the old exercise books, and that can even form a library of clippings where you just enjoy reading those stories. But that has to come when you have actually a good reading culture. The interest has to be intrinsic, and there's a popular saying that if you want to hide anything from an African, you put it in the
Put
book.
it in a book.
Yeah, so actually it's a challenge that all of us as Africans face. We need to work hard on the reading culture, and it has to start. We have to do that at even the family level. And I tried it myself with my two kids, and I saw it worked because every week I could buy a small storybook, very small. And what I used to do is I read with them. You make it like a habit, so they read. So you one stands there, they read loudly and as you help maybe check their pronunciation, the postures they pronounce, the articulation of words, and that really helped to bring out the best culture in them reading. So these days, even my daughter is already reading this, and she was telling me she's about to finish, so she doesn't have a problem with the reading. So it has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when you are grown, you don't just wake up one morning and then you have a culture of reading. It might not be as interesting as it's supposed to be.
Sure. Take me through a bit about your writing journey. Precisely how has you being an author shaped your perspective of life in general?
Oh, okay. Writing, I started showing interest in writing way back in 2007. And that is when I was still a teacher at a primary school somewhere in Kenya. And I can say that writing is very easy if you are a teacher, because when you are a teacher, you read a lot, and much of what you read, you research, you also teach. So, it remains part of you. And anything that you have taught, you have learned it twice or several times. So So I found at some point I had a lot of ideas, because I've read from different authors about one subject, and I started creating my own dictionary, a dictionary that I called bilingual dictionary, where I wrote word for word in English and translated in Swahili. That dictionary is also, it also helps. I keep on enriching it.
Yeah,
but it has
this thing, right? Yeah, that's deep when it comes to reading. I like that.
Yes, it has really helped me a lot. So I didn't know that I could be a writer. So by that time, when in 2007, I said, what if I came up with just a course book that will help maybe for revision purposes? So that's when I started, and it has helped me a lot, because again, it has helped to fashion me into who I am in terms of discipline. You cannot be a successful author if you are not disciplined. You have to sit down for long hours. Sometimes you have to enjoy being lonely, enjoy loneliness, and being focused. There are a lot of virtues that come with that are associated with the authorship, and you have to really, really be ready to be somehow, estranged from the rest, for you to be an actualized author. Otherwise, if you love company so much, in terms of personality, I can say I am a phlegmatic, and phlegmatics are people who are really, really focused and hands-on.
I like that you had to define what that means, because I was about to ask you.
Oh,
For the
yeah.
sake of me and somebody else that may not understand that word,
Yes.
please tell it what.
Phlegmatics are this kind of personality that usually, they work behind the scenes, and they're very hands-on and articulate, and they're really thorough in what they do. Unlike sanguines are outgoing people. We call them extroverts. Sanguines are all over the place. They want to be known. They want to, So a sanguine is not a good personality for an author. So all others, somehow I'm convinced they are either phlegmatics or cholerics or melancholics, but not sanguines. Sanguines cannot sit down even for 30 minutes. It's so boring. That life of an author can be so boring, because sometimes I remember, even when I was writing Yearning for Dawn, I could do it overnight, and I could write up to around past midnight. I'm still on the script writing. So sanguines cannot manage such kind of lifestyle. So it has helped me also to bring out the best personality of myself. Yeah.
When we were having our conversation before this recording, you were talking about how you started writing this in 2015, and I'm like, what? That is how long this story took.
Yes.
And now we're seeing the final product in 2023.
Yes.
I think it takes a lot of patience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, as an author, you have to invest in patience. But if you are because this book, you are not the only person who puts in ideas. After you have come up with a manuscript, you have to subject it to scrutiny by other reviewers, by editors of different, maybe publishing houses. Some will critique it positively, and others will even ridicule it and say it can never be published, and so on. So if you are not so patient, giving up is always imminent.
Yeah, actually getting to the publishing process, I understand you're publishing with Sotrain Publishers.
Yes.
How did it get to that, and how long has the publishing process taken?
Yeah, the journey with the Sotrain has been exciting, I can say, and it is just it was such a coincidence, timely coincidence, because I was just doing my activities around Kulima Tower, where Sotrain happens to have the offices, and then when the lift stopped at floor 6, I saw Sotrain Publishers, and then I said, and the way when I was coming to Zambia, I had in mind, one of the things that I was to do to accomplish was to look for a publisher for my books. So a publisher has just been brought without struggle. So one day I just made a walk-in. Then I was received so well by Mr. Muponda, who happens to be the director, the CEO of the publishing firm. And he took me through the process. I've never enjoyed the journey of publishing like what Sotrain has done, because mainly the publishers we have been working with in the past, maybe they are so, I don't know how to describe it, but they haven't served me to the level like Sotren has done. Many are so passive. You'll reach there, they take you quickly through the process, and they'll help you to submit the manuscript just to have you go. And when it comes to follow up, it's just hectic because sometimes you follow up in vain and you are told even the person who received your manuscript left us. Such kind of feedback.
Okay.
But with Sotren, the correspondences have been timely, been very friendly people. I've been called there severally for meetings, and I've really enjoyed it because they have shown a lot of concern in my work and in myself as a person. So it has really given me a lot of encouragement that actually I can do something tangible. I'm looking forward to working with Sotren for my subsequent publications.
Kudos to Sotren publishers. As we end this conversation, when is this book launching, Yearning for Dawn? When are we expecting, or rather people expecting to read it? Because I have kind of read it and it's amazing.
Wow. I would like to prepare the minds of the readers. First of all, I dedicate it to the high school students. If it can be used as a set book, it's a novel for as a set book. So I'm still going around schools trying to drum up support for it. But we are looking forward to the launch around mid-January or latest, or at least mid-February there, because I have to travel back to Nairobi to extend my stay. Then I return because I'm actually my days I was given actually 3 months and 10 days, so they have come to an end. I'm supposed to be back on 29th November, this November, so I have to go organize now to come back in a big way. Then we launch it, and by that time we'd also have run enough copies ready for circulation in the country.
Amazing. Any final words for somebody that is considering being an author such as yourself? What would you have to say to them?
Being a writer is an awesome venture. That is something where you can leave a lasting legacy. And if
I wanted to look at the camera.
And actually, if you get a hands-on publisher like Sotren, you are in good hands. There are many people, especially as I walk around schools in Zambia, I talk to teachers and I tell them, retirement is just in the mind. You are not supposed to retire. By the time you retire, you have a lot of ideas to unleash, a lot of time, and also somehow you have resources, you have accumulated resources. So if, for example, you have thought of writing a book, that is the best time now to unleash whatever you have acquired in the field to the society. So you can never retire if you are really hardworking and if you love serving. So you wind up, you sum up whatever you have done in a book, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a fictitious book or a creative writing. It can also be maybe a motivational book or based on religion or anything. Because when you are a teacher, you learn a lot. Teachers actually benefit more than learners. Yeah, because they learn, they do a lot of research, then they come and share the information. So they teach themselves a lot, and they also, as they interact, they also learn a lot. So teachers are the best people actually to pen down ideas in a book. I usually encourage them a lot. So there are those perhaps who don't know how to start, and I can just tell them, just look for Sotren publishers and they'll guide you accordingly. You'll grow. Yeah, you don't have to be perfect from the start. Nobody has ever started a journey like this from a point of perfection. You just have to start. If you have the desire to learn and keep on improving the skills, with the time you just find you become a pro at whatever it is that you are doing. And that's what has brought about this masterpiece. It's a lot of work put in, not just by myself, but by many other people who have also made a contribution in their own creative ways.
Thank you so much for that. Perhaps what I have picked from what you have said is really the lifespan of a story doesn't just get birthed there and then it already goes out there. There's a lot of process. Yes. For a story to come to life, be it a book, a film, a song or whatever. And really, that is the beauty of Nkhani Zathu. This is what we do. We bring some of your favorite storytellers to come and share stories of their stories. I hope you have been encouraged, enlightened, and hope you get to purchase this book, Yearning for Dawn. For more information, you may reach out to, or rather follow Sotrend Publishers on Facebook, and be updated, when Yearning for Dawn comes out. Otherwise, I have had an amazing time. This podcast is powered by Sotrend Publishers. They produce, promote, and distribute Indigenous values literature. Until next time, be sure to subscribe. Above anything else, I was really forgetting to do this because you're a storyteller.
Oh,
For giving you this Nkhani Zathu
thank
branded notebook.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that was it, by the way. I have gifted Anthony Wambongo his notebook because he's a storyteller, and we encourage storytellers to continue sharing stories of their stories away from the podcast as they continue writing. You know how that goes. Catch us again next episode. Do not miss out on all the episodes by subscribing and reviewing on our podcast platforms. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, night, or whatever time.